Hey, Motivational Drive by Coco here. How you doing? Today I have a thought here. You know, your success or failures have a lot to do with a lot of different things, and one of them has to do with how you deal with yourself. And that's got a neat taillight light. I'm saying that the big problem some people have is that they ask really terrible questions. Now, let me explain what that means. And the point I'm trying to make is you have to ask better questions in your life. When I say ask terrible questions, I'm talking about, why am I such a loser? Why can't I do what everybody else does? Why am I not successful? And I can't really answer that. See, your brain works in such a way that it has to find an answer. It's very simple. It's a kind of a yes, no, maybe so kind of a problem-solving device. And if you ask a question, it will find an answer to your question. If you ask your brain, why am I such a loser? It will figure out why you're such a loser. Even if you're not a loser, it will come up with a solution. It will come up with an answer. If you ask, why do I always make the same mistakes over and over again? Well, it's obvious you really don't. And if you do, you're a fool because you're crazy, I guess is the answer to that. Because, that definition of crazy is if you do the same thing over and over again expecting a different result. But my point is, if you ask better questions, you can be far more successful. Think about it this way. Two good stories. Colonel Sanders, when he retired, he got his first Social Security check. It was $99. And he said, this sucks. He says, there's got to be a better way. And he had this recipe for, the magic herbs and all that for his Kentucky Fried Chicken. But he had this recipe, and he decided that he was going to sell his recipe. Now, he's not going to sell the recipe all. He was going to give it away, and he was going to take a small percentage of every piece of chicken that people sell. That was his idea. Well, what wound up happening is he went around telling people, this is what I want to do. I have this fantastic chicken and this fantastic process of cooking the chicken, and I'm going to give it to you. And all you have to do is give me a small percentage of every piece you sell. And people said, "You're insane. You're crazy." Well, he went to 500 different places, and they all said, "You're crazy." He went to 750. He went to 1,000. He went to 1,005. Now, at some point you'd think, he would start thinking twice about this whole idea. But in fact, the 1,006th person he talked to said, "Hey, let's try it." And, the rest is history. There's Kentucky Fried Chickens all over the planet. Another good example of this is Edison, when he did the light bulb. He tried over 5,000 different materials. Now, he could have said, this isn't going to work. This is, I'm a failure. Or the same thing with Sanders. He could have said, what am I doing wrong? He said, no, they just realized that every no was a different result. Not the result they wanted, but a different result. So they didn't give up. They just kept asking different questions. And that's pretty much the solution that you have to come up with. You have to find a better way of asking yourself questions about whether or not you're going to succeed or not. And if you say, why am I such a loser, or why does my product suck so bad? Well, if you ask a question like that, your brain's going to tell you why. And if you say, okay, what's not perfect yet? That was, Tony Robbins had that. He made up, had that line, and I love that one. What's not perfect yet? If you think about that, that's the ultimate answer or ultimate question. What's not perfect yet? You're not admitting that there's anything wrong. You're just realizing that, there needs to be some adjustment to what's going on. You need to adjust it, you need to tweak it, you need to do something to make it work better. So at this point, what I'm trying to say is, think about all the times you doubt yourself, all the times you talk down or badmouth yourself about whatever the deal is. And realize that it'd be very, very simple just to change and ask a better question. Something that is positive. Now, and this starts from when we're little kids, and if you've been listening to me right along, I keep bringing up the point when you were a little toddler. Your mom and dad, because they loved you, said, "No, stop, don't touch that, don't put that in your mouth." And it kept up all your life. It's always negative reinforcing, not positive. They wouldn't let you put the worm in your mouth and you realize that it's kind of icky, because you might like it, or put the dirt in your mouth, or put the knife in your mouth, or do things like that, or touch the hot stove, and realize that it's hot, and then learn that way. They would say no. So, it's natural for us to think negatively about stuff and about ourselves. So today, your assignment is, if at any moment you have doubt, stop and suddenly say, okay, come up with a better question. Ask a better question. Ask a positive question. Like I said, the what's not perfect yet is one of my favorites, and I use that from time to time. And you'll be surprised, the answers you get when you change the way, the questions you ask. So, ponder that, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.